Without a shadow of a doubt, it's the Cronkite Show in social media history. I want to welcome you to another episode of the War Zone. I got my man in the building, Donovan Sadiq. I got the queen, Demetri Kate. And I am the 5-star general. We had a freeze and a water issue. But down in Plano, Texas, they're making black middle schoolers drink piss. Now, we're going to talk about this here tonight. Hide the women and children. Parental discretion is advised because we going in, partner. Say, man, I want to welcome you to another episode of the War Zone and tell you thank you for tuning in. Without you guys, we wouldn't have a show, so we definitely appreciate the fact that you take the time out to come and hang out with us. So with that being said, you're the best audience in the world. I'm really dumbfounded by this story that Demetri came across. And as far as the news, I ain't got no news. I'm ready to get into it. What's going on, Donovan?
Hey, you guys, welcome to Friday, Free Flow Friday. We talk a little about anything and everything that might come across the desk. Thank you guys for watching us. We know you guys can be doing 105 other things, but you guys decided to be here with us. In the news today, as you guys know, for all of you guys that are Joe Biden fans, $15 an hour is out of the question. That is not going to happen, even though he ran on that as a promise. That is out the window. Student debt forgiveness. Even though he promised that, and he said he was going to do this and he's going to do that, that is out the window. Investigations out the window. You guys have got to realize with those two major things that was promised on the campaign trail that you guys said, give the man a chance. When he gets in there, he's going to do all this. Racism is going to stop when Joe Biden gets into office. Well, unfortunately, it looks like if you don't think that the Republicans are not going to take that House and they are not going to take that Senate, you are sadly mistaken, because a lot of people now are totally seeing the light with the Democrats and what liars they are. They do not fight. Even the far left progressives are not fighting to get this bill in. It was shot down today. Bernie Sanders made a pretty decent speech about it. And you can see that Bernie actually does care about people, saying that $15 an hour is not enough. He tried to put the thing back in the bill, and it didn't work on party votes. But then all Kamala Harris has to do is tell them to put it back in the bill, and it would pass with the votes that they have. Today, 10 Democrats went against Bernie putting the bill back in. So what does that tell you? So it tells you exactly what the 5 stars have been telling you. They don't want to bring reparations to the floor. They don't want to give certain votes to the floor because it's going to expose those Democrats that are not for black people. And guess what? I wouldn't be surprised if there's a black politician that isn't for black people.
So hello, everybody. Welcome to the Friday night edition of the War Zone. This subject, I'm pissed, okay? Pissed. But anyway, let's get into it because a lot of you guys probably didn't know. So a friend of mine by the name of Tisha sent it to me, and then I talked it over with one of my colleagues. He actually sent me the video. I haven't watched it. I'm not going to watch it. But anyway, as a student in Plano, Texas, a black student in middle school was repeatedly forced to drink urine by his white classmates. And a few of those times it happened at a sleepover. Okay, it happened at a sleepover. It is also said that his coach had called him a couple of racial slurs. They didn't say which one that it was. Some of the kids called him racial slurs. He was also shot at with BB guns throughout different times, and just the boy was a pincushion for white supremacist little kids. And so we're going to have that conversation, but there's a lot of things really going through my mind about this case in its entirety. We're not going to show the video here because it's disgusting. The mother said that, she learned of it because I guess the demons has sent the video out to, several people. And, the school was like, well, there's nothing we could do about it. It happened outside of the school campus. Now, the school is also saying that they're investigating, and the juvenile department, police department there in Plano, they're, looking into it. They're going to investigate it. But it's like, yeah, okay. So, Gary, I'm going to go ahead and give it to you. All you guys do us a favor, please share this so that everybody else can get this information, because this is going to be a doozy tonight.
There's nothing they can do about it. Police are stalling on that. Am I correct? I'm in college. This is what I'm studying right now. They a goddamn lie. Matter of fact, I'm in chapter 11, and I'm on a chapter. I just finished this. Did they send it out through their phones? Did they spread it around during school hours? It's called cyberbullying. They a motherfucking lie. If it went out through the internet, it's a federal fucking crime. It's a federal crime. I'm studying it right now. Plano, Allen, Frisco, all that shit. A bunch of entitled white people who think that they are above the law. It couldn't be my child. It could not be my child. Because honestly, I would fuck all y'all up. Kids, grown-ups, all of y'all would get fucked up if it was my child. That is straight up cyberbullying. It's a violation of the law. And you know they spreading it around on the campuses. So I'd be damned if the school cannot do something about it. And see, this book is so unique because it tells you the connections about bullying as it pertains to the school, as it pertains to outside influences, when it happens at home, how it affects the kid at the school. It tells you all that. I'm finishing this course. Matter of fact, I got one last test and I'm done with this course. So that bullshit about what they cannot do is straight up bullshit. Donovan?
Yeah, I was reading the article on it and the little caption that we had. I mean, it's getting to a point to where nothing is surprising me. And we're getting so desensitized with all the violence and the bullshit that's going on, especially when it comes to our kids. Now you hear about kids, let's say young girls, being pregnant by grown men. It's just another, you know what I mean? We're just getting so like it's the new normal, and I'm just getting sick and tired of it. And especially when it comes to the B1 Brigade, I definitely have a problem with that. But then again, this goes to our parents and the people who actually believe by going to a black neighborhood or a black school, you're going to get a better education. Go ahead, 5-star.
What I'm sick of is these ragged ass parents that don't do shit when these people do this shit to your children, man. You motherfuckers don't need to have no kids. How you gonna allow somebody to fuck over your child and you don't do shit about it? You a coward motherfucker. But let a motherfucker step on your Jordans. You want to kill the whole motherfucking block. Let a motherfucker try to holler at your gal. You want to kill every motherfucking body. But they can make your child drink piss. They can hang your children. They can wrongfully arrest them walking home from motherfucking work at night in the fucking snow. And you don't stand up and do a goddamn thing. You a coward motherfucker. And it's a bunch of y'all out there. I'm telling you, it's people on here that watch us every night. Y'all coward to the son of a bitch. Because it couldn't be my child.
I put a lot of this on the men in the community. Where are the B1 brigade warriors out there to go up to the school and handle this business? But
waiting for a motherfucker to step on their Jordans.
Exactly. See, and then when things like this happen to our children, you want to do something after the fact. Well, I was in prison, so I couldn't do anything. You shouldn't have put your ass in prison when you got children out here on the streets that need their daddy. But let me ask you this, 5-star. You're running for school board, and again, for those of you that have donated, we really appreciate it. Please continue to do that. Share, like, and subscribe. You're on the school board now. You're about to do this. This incident basically happened. How would you handle a situation like this? And I'm just asking you as a father, candidate, and citizen.
Well, first of all, you got to stay within the scope of your job as a school board rep. You got 3 basic job functions. But as a school board rep, I'm going to have a conversation with the superintendent. And I'm going to expect you to do what the hell you need to do in order to handle this shit here. Now, guess what? If you don't do shit, then you can best believe if I'm in control of the agenda, you're going to have an action item called removing the superintendent and not renewing their contract. You can't overstep your boundaries as a school board rep. But what you can do is talk to the administration. I need you guys on this. Like yesterday. But see, everybody trying to pass the motherfucking buck. Boy, my baby in her 20s, fuck with mine and find out how real it is with me.
You ain't said nothing but a word. Because that couldn't have been my child either. I swear for God. Had that been my child, first of all, it wouldn't be my child, okay? No shade to anybody else's child who it might have been, but that wouldn't have been my child in the first place. But let's just say by some freak incident it was, I wouldn't need no police intervention. It would be some police intervention, but it'd be for them coming to get me and her crazy ass daddy and my crazy ass daddy and all the crazy ass people they know. But more importantly, and I'm not trying to victim shame the parents at all or any of that kind of stuff, because nobody asked for that to happen to their child. But what I want to know is for a lot of these parents, they're talking about, I want to send my kid to a better school, especially as Black people. How's that better school working out for you? Y'all know how many stories I cover because I work for the African Diaspora Network. And I've covered in the last 2 weeks stories of our children going through the most in these white school systems. And so I want to know is, how are these better schools working out for you? And when are you going to just decide that I've had enough? Let me stop running from who I am to go be with people who don't want to be with me. And first of all, why are you allowing your child to spend the night with them? How many other stories do we need to see? Like the Black lady who was kicking it with the football mamas, and she ended up beat to death, but they said she fell off the balcony. Like, why do y'all continue to put your children unsupervised around them? The Honorable Elijah Muhammad told us, don't be, especially in a large crowd of them, but don't like, just be wise when it comes to surrounding yourself with them. But you send your children to spend the night. Like, what is wrong with you? That's that whole, to me, it's mental illness. Ooh, I'm gonna send little Jerome over there and spend the night with his friends. He's over at the sleepover. At the sleepover doing what? Drinking piss? Getting BB guns shot at him? And then how the hell you just not finding this out by seeing it on the video? Like, I want to pull my hair out. I don't understand what is wrong with us as Black people. You know, and then you have somebody like Dr. Umar, who is continuously trying to raise money for a school. Now, I know people got their issues with Dr. Umar, but at least he's trying to open a school for Black boys. Now, instead of doing that, you want to go to these private schools and these other white schools and put your Black children in these white schools where they do this kind of stuff to them. But then you'll be the first one to get under Dr. Umar's post and talk bad about him him, and he's trying to save your black boys while these white schools got them drinking piss. We got to wake up.
Yeah, I mean, you're spot on when it comes to that. But this all goes back to these Negroes that vote Democrat, these Negroes that go out there and think that a white man is going to save them. It's these people that think that we're in a post-racial society. It's these people that think by going to an HBCU which you can't afford, that you're going to get and you do get a better education. Don't get me wrong, but you don't get a better job. Nobody gives a damn about whatever that is. It's that kind of belief that we are getting in the same black people who keep voting in politicians that don't do shit for them. The same black people who send their kids to these white schools thinking that it's going to be a better situation. And as we have seen time and time again, that it's not. Even to this day, and it's funny that we're talking about this. Last night, I was telling a story about me going to Sears School within the Air Force, right? And you got all these people, they think they're your friends and you're supposed to work with them and be together. Don't get me wrong. I will work with my battle buddies. Don't get me wrong. All these white rednecks and people that I just, they're just far right compared to me, right? But I'm not stupid. I never forgot what my mama told me. When it comes down to it, these ain't your friends. These people, when it comes down to it, they're going to be on their side. You're going to be on your side. Never forget that. But we've got a generation behind us that listen to these baby boomers talking about, well, when I was coming up, it was segregated and we couldn't go here, we couldn't go there, but it wasn't for us. Y'all living in a nice racial situation. We are being shown every day that the more we think things have changed, the more they remain the same.
And the other thing too is we don't study history. We some of the main people talking about, oh, well, that was in the past. So that happened back in the day. No, study history, and you will know that none of this stuff has changed. Yeah, we don't have slave masters per se running around, but what the hell you think they taught their kids? And their kids taught their kids, and so on and so forth. You don't think somewhere those white kids thought it was okay to feed and have somebody else's child drink piss? That is sick. But that's how a lot of them raise their children. They're just sick. They're not even look at black people as humans. And you know what? I'm all right with that. But I would never have my child unsupervised around you either. But we need to start digging in the books, looking at history, and stop thinking, oh, well, it's not like that. And, it is like that. It's like that. Obviously, there's a whole video of somebody's black child drinking piss. I didn't click on it, but the still that I saw, he's got and it's not even a sip. It's a large cup of urine. And these white boys are surrounding him, and he's, obviously being forced to drink the piss. But they, and I probably should use another word, urine, but it wasn't the first time he did. It was a few times they did this to him, And then, the mom and it wouldn't be no press conference. I'm sorry. It would be one from behind cell block H.
Hey, go ahead.
Miss Demetra K. So they said that you scattered the pieces everywhere. Can you at least tell the authorities where to find them? No, I will not. I will not.
See, but as a man looking at this, I mean, this is where you get the fact, and and I hate to see this because I had some friends that lost, children and stuff of that nature, and I got some friends, they were in jail, and they try to use it as an excuse of why they couldn't protect their child. And and ladies, I know you guys are doing the best you can, but like I said, I'm putting the emphasis on the father because there is nobody there to protect the village. Yes, you're the mom, you're making the decisions, but if the dad is living on the other side, if the dad was there, you know what? A lot of the stuff that's happening to our children would not be happening. But we've got young men and men that have been taught by the older generation, it's all about self. Don't worry about them. Don't worry about paying your child support, have as many babies as you can and just go about your business. It is so sad that the fathers are not stepping up. And I'm not talking about all of them because you got some damn good fathers there that will just take it out. But this is what happens when the warriors are told to stand down. Ladies, stop teaching your young sons to sit down when they should stand up. Because if you're teaching that to them now, when they do become men, or if they're already young men, shit like this happens, they're not going to do anything. And this is how they take advantage of our people. And this is how they destroy our village, because we have no warriors willing to step up. Yes, nobody wants to see their baby get killed or hurt, but somebody's going to have to die. And you're going to have to show these people you are willing to do that. If this bullshit is going to continue to come on, and we're not just saying lay down like Martin Luther King and just die, let people hit you in the head. We're talking like the black Muslims talk. If you're going to take, it's going to be a life for a life, a head for a head, whatever it takes, so that they get the point. And that's what we need to start doing.
Yep. And let me read y'all, some of what the mom described. And the 5-star, he had to step out into a meeting really quick, but he'll be right back in case you guys are wondering where he is. So she says, imagine being a happy kid who loves making people smile and having a good time. Imagine your classmates and football team members turning on you and targeting you. Imagine a group of those same football team members attacking you in the locker room with a belt. Imagine being hit in the private area, and when you tell an adult, you're told boys will be boys. The mother went on to write that her son's inhaler was taken by a coach. He was called racial and homophobic slurs, attacked with a BB gun, and forced to drink urine from a cup. She also says, imagine being forced to drink the urine of not only a boy who thought he was his friend, but his friends. Imagine a video of you drinking the urine being sent to multiple people in your school. Imagine the school telling you they can't do a thing about it because the incident didn't take place on campus. She says, my son doesn't have to imagine these things. They are all his reality. Now, why is that your son's reality? Why? Why would you allow and make your son be around people like that? So to me, it sounds like, you didn't really know. I don't know. And then the school talking about there's nothing we can do about it. I'm like, okay, hold my beer. Because I remember one time when my daughter was in the 3rd grade, there's and I tell you guys a story all the time. There's a white guy who was picking up his nephew. Uncle Ron was his name. When my daughter comes running to the car and says, Uncle Ron, this is a grown-ass man, called my 8-year-old daughter a nigger. And so I walked into the office and I said, hey, y'all need to do something about Uncle Ron. He calling my daughter a nigger. And they took the same attitude with me. Oh, well, that's Uncle Ron. He don't mean no harm. I said, bet. And I brought her crazy ass daddy up there the next day. And he says, I swear for God on everything I love, y'all better get Uncle Ron before I do. He says, because if I see Uncle Ron, he says, I'm bum rushing him in front of kids, teachers, whoever is on this campus. He says, my duty to end his life behind talking to my child like that. And guess what? We never saw again. Uncle Ron. He scared the shit out of them old ladies in that office talking about, oh, it's just Uncle Ron. He says, oh, really? Well, let's see how much how much of a less of a threat he gonna be when I put my hands on him. So that's the attitude we gotta take. We can't be soft shoeing and tap dancing. Ooh, massa, please. Oh, massa, won't you just come on now? Just love my child now. Oh, why you got to be making them drink? No, hell no. I'm gonna bring it to you one time. And after that, then I'm gonna make a believer out of you. Cause see, that's how I was raised. I wasn't raised to, expect white people who mean us no earthly good to do right by us. Now, I'm not saying this is all, but again, study history. I posted a post on my wall earlier of a black woman in the early 1900s who was repeatedly raped by her, this is after slavery now, raped by her employee. She said he would have his way with her. So one day he followed her home and chased her into the woods, caught her, locked her up for days, okay? For days. And then finally she got the nerve to kill him. You know, they executed that black woman. They executed that black woman for protecting herself. And so I say all that to say is, at some point in time, we just got to get sick of it. But you know what she said upon her before she died? She says, "I do it again." She said, "I'm not apologetic about what he did to me." She says, "Because I would rather die than live with the fact that that man could have his way with me whenever he wanted to." So she says, "I would do it again." And that's the attitude we need to have.
Now, think about this. Now, we hear stories of this all the time in regards to children being assaulted. You know, it's like when you watch these shows or thing, you always hear about this might be a grown woman. They were molested. It seems like in the black community, our children are touched for whatever reasons, and a lot by family members and all this other stuff. Now, I'm thinking of this young kid right now. Look at the psychological damage that this kid is going to have and the stigma he's going to have in school as the kid that did this. And, you know, back in our day, you had little pranks and stuff. But you think about even the little pranks when you used to give people wedgies, think of the psychological damage we did to those classmates of ours. I mean, you know, to us, it's a little thing, but you don't know what kind of damage you've done. And in today's society, just think of how this boy is going to feel and how he's going to turn out. You don't know if this is the precipice of him going to the other team or staying on the team that he's in. You just don't know how much damage has been done. And then he's looking around, and I don't know how long it took before they actually tried to do something about this. But think about the women that claim, you know, molestation and nobody believes them. How that affects them, the fact that they weren't even protected, or even the thought of, wow, I just, you know, told mama her boyfriend tried to talk to me. I don't want to go graphic or anything, tried to talk to me, and mama doesn't believe me. And I'm not saying every situation is that situation, but in a situation like he's in a school that is supposed to protect him, he's there to get educated and stuff. And, you know, you're willingly letting a black child go with a bunch of white people. Didn't we have something like this happen in Louisiana a couple months ago?
I mean, I don't know about what happened. Well, you're talking about the Melanie Lyons case. Those are black girls as well. But like I said, I mean, at some point in time, we got to stop waiting for the oppressors to stop oppressing us. And you know, the other crazy part too is those kids' parents are probably like, well, boys will be boys. You know, it's just, did he make them drink a lot of pee, or was it just a little pee? Gosh, you need to just, but then when you have to be coming looking for your son behind him making my child drink urine, then that's when you're going to pay attention. Gary?
There's a disconnect. There's a disconnect. My good white viewers, understand one thing. We're trying to get along. We're the most forgiving people in the world. But see, we that old dog that sit on that porch every day. You know, that old dog that you pass by and you keep kicking him. And we don't do nothing. We don't do anything. We just sit there. We don't growl. We don't do anything. But as soon as we get loose and we say to hell with it, and we raise up and bite the shit out your ass, then you want to scream and holler. But where we are right now, that is not acceptable. To allow that to happen. Law enforcement not moving on it as fast as they should shows me that the people with money in the city of Plano, Allen, and all that stuff, because you go through there, it's just a suburb of Dallas that they created, big houses, they got money. And you know what's so amazing? It seemed like y'all with the money got the most problem with your crazy ass little kids. Y'all with the money. It's y'all motherfucking kids making kids drink piss, running up in schools, shooting up the motherfucking schools. Man, I done told y'all, do something with your fucking people, man. That I'm gonna be honest with you. If I wasn't going to Minneapolis, I would be in Plano, Texas. Because you're not gonna keep doing this shit to us, man. Somebody gotta stand up to the highest degree. And if that means a couple of us got to go to jail, then fuck it. Because that's what it's going to have to be. I don't give a damn about the George Floyd policing act. You know why I don't give a fuck about it? Because it don't have no teeth in it. It ain't going to have no teeth at the state level or the federal level. Because if you don't do shit with qualified immunity to do something about them goddamn cops, they're going to keep doing it anyway. It doesn't matter. And if we don't do something about these people doing this shit to our children, they're going to keep doing it. Drinking piss, hanging them, rolling them up in motherfucking mats, hiding them in gyms. You don't think it's a disconnect?
As I was reading the article and I was trying to look up, I haven't heard one story or one statement by a Black official. I don't give a damn if it's not in your jurisdiction. If you're a Black person, that's all the jurisdiction you need. But this is what we keep telling you guys. These Black politicians do not care about us. And it shows by them remaining silent.
Well, I tell you what, we need to have, you remember when Bernie Mac was on what's the comedy show Martin Lawrence them had with Russell Simmons?
Def Comedy Jam.
The first time Bernie was on there, when Kid Capri was on the turntables, all we got to do to solve it is have Bernie Mac syndrome. That's it, Dimitri. Just kick ass. It's time to start kicking ass. Slap the shit out of them, beat the fuck out of them, pull their fucking hair out their head, give them the business. And I guarantee you that shit gonna stop.
Yeah, I mean, especially when it comes to my kid, my nieces and nephews, any of that, I don't play that. I'm telling y'all, my daughter had a few incidents at school. This big white girl was messing with my daughter, and I rolled up on her ass right there, while she was waiting on her mama to pick her up. I said, "Why you keep putting your hands on my daughter?" And she looked like she saw a ghost. Don't you know they called the police on me?
Was that the time you needed me to have bail ready?
Damn near.
Yeah.
They called the police on me the next day. They said, "Miss Coulter, before you come in to pick your daughter up, she's in the office. Can you come in?" Now, they didn't tell me the police was waiting on me, but I kind of knew. And so the police was like, "Well, and he's a Black man too. You can't be running up on people, kids." I said, "I don't give a damn." I said, "That child kept putting her hands on my child." And I said, I told the teacher, told the principal, and they didn't do nothing about it. So I said, I took matters into my own hands. And so she ran and told her mama. He says, "Well, you can't." I said, "You know what? Every time somebody puts their hand on my child, I'm going to run up on that child." Now, I didn't threaten to kick her butt, but she got the point. And I said, it would have been nice if they'd have called you up here when she was putting her hands on my child. And so he got the point. I said, so you go tell her mama and the principal that if she don't want me running up on her child, then she tell her child to keep her hands off my child. Next time, I'm going to have somebody else really come see about her daughter. And it stopped cold turkey. See, I didn't play all of that. I didn't play that's talk and that's in that. No, we going to do it hood style. That's what we going to do.
I'm a little bit, I'm with you on that because I'm going to go to the extreme. I'm not finna play the game. See, one thing about these kids nowadays, you don't know how this shit gonna turn out. You don't know how it's gonna turn out when these kids get into it. So I'm not taking no chances. I'm gonna slap the shit at you. And I'm really slapping the shit at you so you can go get your parent. When your parent come, I ain't doing no talking. I ain't doing no talking. I'm putting my motherfucking hands on you. Like I see one lady say her niece, a student spit on her niece. I wish a motherfucker would. I'm gonna be honest with you. You spit on my motherfucking child. You gonna think you got that medical condition where your motherfucking lip done swole up. Cause I'm gonna fuck you up, man. Let mine come home and say you made him drink some piss. Man, I promise you, dog. I don't give a fuck. You can call who you want to call, but by the time they get there, you're going to be fucked up anyway.
Let me ask a question real quick, though. Now, remember when we were coming up, if our parents had to leave their job to come up there for some bullshit, they were going to kick our ass regardless, because, you know, they got to be on their job making that money, because you got to, you know, brothers and sisters and stuff like that. But if they came up there to protect this, they were coming to kick ass, no questions asked. But in the modern age today, and this is what I've found when I have to go to the school to go get my nephew, because his mom asked me to go get him because she's at work or whatever, and I would go and, you know, student whatever I have to do to help out. And I noticed when I went to parent-teacher night, 5-star, I'm seeing children with children. And it's like, I can't tell the difference of who's the student and who's the parent, because these kids are so young, if they show up even at all. So, you know, do you think that that would be another issue that we have? Because I barely see these young parents coming to parent-teacher night or even getting involved. It's almost like they send their kids so they can go to sleep from being at the club all night.
Schools are nothing more than modern day daycares. That's what they are. They daycares. They send their kids to school to get the fuck out the house. See, you know I'm not lying, because think about, why do you need a 24-hour daycare? Who the fuck leaves their child at a 24-hour daycare? Motherfuckers that don't want to be bothered with children. A lack of parenting. And I'm going to tell you, when you say you can't tell the difference, that's something I've always talked about. See, a few years back, we thought the shit was cool when them little girls was getting pregnant at 11 and 12 years old. We thought that shit was cute. But what you have to realize is at 11 and 12 years old, they going from Barbie dolls to a baby. They don't know how to raise children. The kids raising them. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, you right on the money. It's a lack of parenting. You got a bunch of pussy ass parents nowadays that don't need kids. They don't need motherfucking kids. But a bunch of them, not everybody now. A bunch of y'all just fucking to have kids to get more food stamps, to get more welfare, to get more TANF. Got your kids playing crazy, going to the doctor, sticking square pegs in round holes to get SSI. Yeah, I know the game y'all play. And you don't need fucking kids. And if you ain't gonna protect your child, you definitely don't need a fucking kid.
I mean, yeah, and that's the truth. You know, I only have one child biologically. Okay, she's 28, and I've raised, you know, a few other kids, my nieces and nephews. But I don't get weak parents. I don't get passive parenting when it comes to your child. I mean, we see bears and all kind of other animals will fight tooth and nail for their babies, but we just kind of, well, you know, I just want to talk to somebody and want to know why they want. Man, I don't get it, because like I get riled up thinking about some of the things that my daughter had to endure, but I handle it. I like it riles me up even now. Like I said, she's 28 years old, but I don't get it. I'm not having no press conference and you know want to know why these white folks won't treat my son and my daughter right. I'm not talking at that point. When I find out my child had to drink somebody else, not one child, but a few child's piss. I'm not talking to you no more. I want you to be looking around corners and looking over your shoulder and wondering when the other shoe is going to drop. That's what I want you to do. But I don't understand these parents. You're just like, I'm not going to use the P word, but y'all get the point. How do you have children and not like want to protect them to the death? I wonder about some parents out there nowadays. I'm confused. They shouldn't even think they could do that to your child. Like they should be to me, it's like when we hear the Asians, when they be putting their hands on our sisters, they ain't afraid. They're not, because they know the sister's going to go right back up in there. They should be very afraid if they put their hands on a black woman, that a slew of black men are going to come and see about them. But they're not afraid of us. And that's a problem.
You know, part of the reason that we scared is, and this is a good comment from Too Cute. this Biden crime law bill in effect, waiting on us to defend ourselves just to lock us up. Well, guess what? You can go and get my motherfucking cell ready when it comes to my kids. I'm gonna fuck you up, man. I don't give a fuck if mine 30 years old. I'm gonna fuck you up. I'm just telling you. See, because mentally you done fucked mine up. See, I got different philosophies, Donovan. You know, like, you know, the way kids fight nowadays, where they jump at each other. You know, if you jumped me right now at 53 years old, there's a rule that I have in place when you decide to jump me. I know I'm going to the hospital. But one of you motherfuckers coming with me. I ain't swinging at 9, 10 motherfuckers. I'm going to lock in on one. And I'm going to fuck you up. You going to be right next to me in that motherfucking ambulance. So when it come to my kid, I'm telling you, I'm not trying to hear it. I'm going to fuck you all the way up. And we'll fuck your kid up too. I see, I'm a dude that couldn't go to the home association meetings after going after the first time. Because I flat out told them, your kids running around here, running up in these houses, fucking up these houses. If they come on my street and they fuck within the house, I'm going to fuck your kid up. I'm not joking. That's exactly what I said. Mr. Monroe, you can't say that in here. You don't know who's doing it. Your kids, it ain't mine. And if I catch them, I'm going to fuck them up.
You know, it's funny that you say that, Dimitri. I'll tell you, everybody knows you can do what the hell you want to do in my neighborhood. Just don't go down this street or at the end of this cul-de-sac, because you will have problems. And, you know, that's what I'm known as, the military guy that runs around with guns and shit. And you're going to have problems in my neighborhood. And nobody comes down that cul-de-sac and has any problems. But another question that I have, I put a comment up, you know, I know some women that say, you know, they let their children decide to drop out of high school. That was unheard of when we were coming up. We couldn't make that decision. You're going to finish school or do something, but you just can't arbitrarily go do that. And then they have the nerve to say, well, the kids are going to do what they're going to do. It's that, to me, it's that type of thinking that leaves our children undefended, because it's basically telling them you don't give a shit.
Parents.
Yeah. They just don't give a shit.
I've figured out after researching that most of the people that don't have a problem with their child dropping out of school and doing something like that are a lot of times people that don't even have a diploma themselves. So they don't understand the value of a diploma. So it's not hard for them to accept it. Could you imagine that conversation in my house? I'm not going to school no more. I'm dropping out. Okay, I'm cool with that. Did you make arrangements? What you mean make arrangements? Well, you're going to have to live somewhere else because you can't live here. Because in here, you're going to school. So you mean you're going to put me out? No, you're putting yourself out. You're putting your motherfucking self out. Because they ain't finna be two grown-ass men up in here. I don't give a fuck if you're 18. Ain't going to be two grown-ass men up in here. You don't run nothing here. You want to run something? You want to make them kind of decisions? Then get the fuck out.
Yeah, you know, but like I said, you know, I've been covering stories all week. I don't know if you guys heard about some school. Oh shoot, I forget where it was. But they made the kids write a letter to their ancestors or to their family in Africa as though they were slaves, and to talk about how life on the plant, Mississippi is where it was. Life on the plantation was on a Mississippi plantation. Tell them about their work life and, you know, the people they work with.
Well, that don't strike me as hard coming from the great state of Mississippi. That don't strike me as hard. Mississippi is a plantation in its goddamn self. The whole motherfucking state is a plantation. Black people ain't finna raise up in no motherfucking Mississippi like talking about. They ain't gonna raise up. But I'm just telling you, if you're not gonna stand up for your child and shit like this here, then I think they should take your kid from you. I don't think you should have your child. I think they need to, and I'm being honest with y'all, this is how I feel. I think that if that's the way it's gonna be, you got a father and a mother. They need to cut the man dick off, and they need to get a plunger and stop a pussy up so ain't no more motherfucking babies can come up out of her.
Wow. And then another case was in St. Louis, Missouri, at a white school, predominantly white school, private school. 5 teachers get together, 5 white teachers get together, and they playing human Scrabble and messed around and spelled the word coons. Talking about they was trying to spell raccoon, but they couldn't find the R and the A. And then, of course, in both situations, the black parents is like, well, I don't understand it. Why? And my child shouldn't have to. And I'm like, I just want to strangle you.
I'd have got 5 of them, you know. I'd have got 6 more of my partners. And, you know, I'd have handled that a little different. I'd have handled that dignifiedly, Demetri. We'd have played some human crackers. We'd have played some human Scrabble, and we'd have spelled the word cracker. What you mean by cracker? I'm talking about, you know, like Polly want a cracker or wrist crackers. Cracker.
Yeah, so, you know, it's like they keep showing us who they are. It's like, what part of it are we having a problem? Believe it. I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing because I'm flabbergasted at us as black people keep expecting that one day we shall overcome. They really just go. They're not. Like they got it. And then these ladies posted it on social media, and then everybody came to their defense. Oh, they didn't know what that word meant. Oh, you know, they didn't mean any harm by it. And it's just like, oh, Lord.
But if they didn't know what the word meant, I would just say one thing. Your ignorance is your problem. We know exactly what the word meant. So like I said, let's go get some goddamn cardboard and spell cracker. See, when you call them a cracker, they get offended. You see what I'm saying? They get very, very offended. I don't give a fuck. It's an eye for an eye in my world. Because I know every morning you wake up, it's some good folk out there, white folk, that don't have a problem with me, and I don't have a problem with them. But it's some of them out there that wake up, that nigga with that cracker. I'm going to let you know how I feel, partner. I ain't going behind no motherfucking wall and throw no rock at your ass. I'm going to stand in your face and call you what I need to call you. And the reason that you don't understand it, and you do understand it, we want acceptance. We want to be a part of their world. Well, there's cost and consequences for being a part of these people's world, man. You know, when people say we need to separate, don't get upset about that. Look at the shit that we got to go through. Look at what our children have to go through. And you motherfuckers want to live out in Plano? You want to live amongst them? They don't want you out there. They don't want you out there, partner. But you ain't gonna shake the apple cart too hard because you want to be out there with them. They'll never accept you. Accept that.
Do you know what's really the oxymoron of all of this? Let me ask you this, 5-star. When you were on the football team and you had the tryouts, there's a certain standard that people have to make the team, correct? Correct, right?
Yep.
So these people are trying to get acceptance from people that don't respect them at all. Because think about it. Why would I want you to join my tribe and you let me or anybody else just make your child drink piss and you didn't do nothing about it? This is the mafia. I don't want no weak, limp, simp type person on my team that isn't even going to stand up for their own. But that's the mentality that we have. We think that, well, you know, if we keep showing weakness and we keep showing forgiveness, all you Christians out there, we keep forgiving, they're going to one day accept us. Ain't going to happen.
Well, you know, in everything that we're dealing with nowadays, we want to be a part of their system. Black Lives Matter. Michael Brown daddy come back and say, I want $20 million. He say, I want $20 million. Basically, you pimped my son. Well, hold on, Dad. Let me explain something to you, because there was more than enough information out there to make you aware that that was exactly what they were gonna do. But now after the fact, when they lied to you and promised you something and you didn't get it, now you want to scream bloody murder. We allow these people to shit on us every day. Well, not 5-star, because I'm gonna go to jail. Motherfucker come up on me. I'll take you to jail. Well, just get me down there before they stop feeding motherfuckers. Because I don't give a fuck about going. I'm not gonna let you disrespect me in any way, shape, form, or fashion and walk around this bitch and think you gonna talk about it. You gonna be walking around here, that motherfucker crazy. He tried to knock my head off. Yeah, bitch, you walking around here with a half a head right now because you played with a real IG. I'm not finna play with him. I'm busting you in your mouth on sight.
Yeah, and then with Michael Brown's father, actually what happened is, you guys remember a couple of weeks back, Black Lives Matter disclosed how much money they raised, last year. And so he said once he found out, he was like, no, then y'all need to take me off some money. Since y'all raising all this money, he asked the question that most everybody asks, well, where is all this money gone? It hasn't gone to the people who made you possible or in the communities or any of that other stuff. So yeah, you need to be writing checks to the people, who actually got some skin in the game. Y'all running around here hollering Black Lives Matter, but how much does it matter if you ain't funneling that money into the Black communities where Black people are losing their lives by these murderous police officers? So I'm with him. I hope he gets every dime, and I hope everybody else's parents who, they were murdered, whatever, I hope they get in on the lawsuit too and clean Black Lives Matter out. But the question that I have is, if you won't die for your child, then what will you die for?
Jordans. Motherfuckers will kill you over a pair of Jordans.
Weaves.
They gonna die over bundles. They gonna die over they stank ass, cheating ass mate. But they will not put their life on the line for their children. I don't understand that. If anything, I should be sitting back not upset, but laughing based on what the fuck you done did to them. But we won't do that. We will die for a pair of funk ass tennis shoes.
It's funny because, like I said, when I do my podcast and I always talk about the baby boomers, and I go in on the baby boomers, and some of my baby boomer friends, they always ask me, they go, "Why are you so angry?" Whatever deal is. Why shouldn't I be angry at the fact that civil rights movement, you guys did all this transformative stuff that you guys benefited from, but we're still dealing with the racism that you guys should have never stopped fighting in your day? Why shouldn't I be upset? I shouldn't have to be dealing with a white supremacist choking me out on national TV and murdering me right in the streets. I shouldn't have to be dealing with systematic racism. But no, you guys got your civil rights legislation. You got to go shit next to the white person. You got to go get you some white women. You got you a federal job. And you're sitting there telling me why I shouldn't be upset? Because you didn't fight for me. You fought for yourself. I'm your child. You did not fight for me. That is why I'm upset, because we are fighting the battle that you should have fought a long time ago. And you got to remember, a lot of these civil rights era folks, God bless them, but when they were fighting the civil rights stuff, these guys were in their 20s. Now they're in their 70s. So they were young enough and strong enough to push the legislation forward, and they didn't do it. Now it's up to us.
I hear people saying I'm a progressive. I ain't no motherfucking progressive. I'm a motherfucking fool. I'm a motherfucking fool, dog. And when it come to my kids, I plays no games at all. Civil rights leaders from the 60s, late 50s, 60s, I've told this to older people 1,000 times. You didn't finish your job. And part of your job was to train the next generation to take the baton from you and finish doing what needed to be done. Well, if they still sitting there and they was there in the 60s, that tell you they never passed the baton. But they get so offended when we want to get together and we want to march. Oh, it's a problem. Oh, well, they're tearing up stuff. Y'all motherfuckers tore up some shit too back in the day. But you don't want us to do what you did. You know why? Because you're getting a whole bunch of money off of stymieing Negroes right now. You're getting a whole bunch of money off of keeping us quiet. Now, I don't know what y'all is, Demetri, if you're progressive or not, but I'm a motherfucking fool, man.
And speaking of which, a lot of people went to the polls and voted for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. A lot of our people did. And what did we watch them do? They wrote resolutions for Asians who were being harassed. And I'm not saying they weren't being harassed. Not saying it should even happen. But they got on it lickety split, didn't they? They was quick. But I guarantee you, if you hold your breath, waiting on Joe Biden and Kamala to say something about our black boys being forced to drink piss by their white schoolmates, if you hold your breath, you're going to die waiting for them to do something. They don't ever speak out about that.
So why Miss Chucks and Pearls ain't said shit about it?
Well, why haven't the people who were strolling to the polls in them Chucks and Pearls said anything about it? Or let it be some kids in the cages. They'll be, I can't tell you how many Negroes I will see on my page. Talking about the kids in the cages, the kids in the cages. But when you hear about our kids getting done wrong, they are quiet. They don't say anything. And then they still defending Joe. Oh, well, he ain't been in office 60 days. Yeah. Oh, well, you just got it. But yet they don't say nothing about our black people and our black children having to endure the horrors that they endure. Where are all these damn resolutions? They still trying to pass this lynching law. They got this bullshit ass no respect to George Floyd. Bullshit ass George Floyd bill they trying to pass. You know, the House will pass it, but them white people in the Senate, those Republicans and whoever else, they're not going to pass it. It's more symbolism. Like, why do you need a bill to tell cops to stop killing black people? That should already be a crime, but that's more symbolism they'll give to us. They know it'll never pass. But they get together and get Asians something because they getting bullied, but we got kids forced to drink piss, and I guarantee you they won't say anything about it.
We don't have to go to the federal level. Let's come back down here to Houston. You know, the mayor of the city passed a resolution the other day about the Asians. He's all on the news promoting the fact that we need to support Asian businesses. Nigga, when you gonna tell us to support black businesses?
Is his boyfriend Asian or something?
I don't know what it is, but see, that tells me, you know, he passed, you know, did some other shit the other day for the LGBTQ community. You see, protection for the LGBTQ community. Well, I tell you what, they killing gay motherfuckers in Third Ward just like they killing regular motherfuckers. They killing lesbian motherfuckers in South Park just like they killing regular motherfuckers. These people don't give a fuck about us. They put these henpecked ass Negroes in positions to shit on us. They talk to us crazy. Well, they don't talk to me crazy because, bitch, I be in front of your fucking house. And we allow this shit to go on. See, ain't nothing gonna keep going on if you address it the correct way. It ain't gonna keep going on if you address it the right way. I don't give a fuck about none of me.
But, you know, but this is exactly why we thank you guys for tuning in and listening. You're not going to get stories, you know, they're not going to tell our story on the national news. They barely cover it in the local news. They barely cover it. This is why
let me say this here because it's a thing up here. I want you to chime in on it. Mashawn Baines says, don't support no more Asian businesses. Well, guess what? I don't support your motherfucking business anyway. You don't support black businesses. I ain't supporting your shit. And I ain't shy to say it. I ain't mean to interrupt you.
No, exactly. No. Again, you know, the $14 billion industry, out of that $14 billion, they say $9 billion of it is black women that support the hair and Asian business product because that's what they pretty much do that. So we've got money in the community. It's just the idea of we really need to support and get these news stories out and share these news stories of our story. Because, you know, again, this is the first time in history where black politics and black news isn't regional. It's national. Like I said, the 5-star in Demetria in Houston. I'm here in California. We're talking to people in Atlanta. And one thing that we found that we all have in common, besides just having black skin, we're dealing with the same fucking problems across the nation. And if we don't come together like we need to come together as a group and start demanding, like these other groups are doing, what we want. I mean, you can't get mad at Joe Biden because he didn't promise you nothing, because we didn't ask for nothing. At least we did, but y'all didn't ask for nothing. So, you know, it's a new day. You civil rights era, and I said this on my podcast yesterday. I want you guys to listen to me and be very clear. If you are a civil rights person, and if this doesn't apply to you, don't worry about it. But you guys know who I'm talking about. Sit y'all old asses down and let us do the work. You guys are still in power right now. The average age in Congress is 73 years old. 73 years old. You guys are still in power, and look where we're at today. And you motherfuckers are silent about the jobs that aren't available. Nothing for us. So go sit y'all asses down and let somebody else do something. If you ain't gonna do nothing, take your boat, take your damn house with 2 mortgages. You ain't got no more goddamn businesses. 40% of black businesses closed their doors during the pandemic. You have nothing to show for us legacy-wise. Go sit your ass down, because you've been out of ideas for over 50 years.
Man, translate that for y'all. He say, you old Negro spirituals, you need to go back to the cotton fields.
And you know what? Ordinarily, I'd be on Donovan's bumper by talking about them baby boomers. But you know what? He's right. He's right. I mean, it's like, thank you for what you've done to a certain point. But like you said, that was 60 years ago. We haven't progressed at all. And you guys are happy with, oh, just, you know, what y'all crying about now. You should be happy. As Donovan say, they're happy with going to eat seasonless soup. That's what they fought for, to go sit in white people's restaurants and be able to, oh, isn't this nice? Be able to sit next to them and eat the seasonless soup, move in the neighborhoods with them, and they move right out when you brought your black ass in there. But yet, you know, that's what they're satisfied with. But we literally are in the same spot that we were. But we're just integrated now. That's the only difference. I mean, like, you hear a story of a child being forced to drink piss of, you know, few white boys. That sounds like some shit in the Jim Crow era. And we are in 2021 and we're still hearing of these stories. It's like, at some point in time, we have got to decide as black people, enough is enough. My God.
We can't fathom it, because we might be integrated, but we're still segregated. We're still in a segregated society. And the thing is the old peoples, and I just want to talk to y'all for a second. I know that y'all's got what you wanted. I know now yous could drink out the same water fountain. I know that you could ride on the front of the bus now, but you still's got your black ass on the back. I get it. You got what you wanted. But you old Negro spirituals, you got us stuck, man. And a lot of days it ain't the white folks that's most scared of us. It's them. It's them. They don't want us to say nothing. They don't want us to raise up. They don't want us. Fuck all that. Fuck all that. That's just, I mean, when we get some movement, we got to keep pushing. The NFAC, they did what they did to Grandmaster Jay. Who the second in command, man? Need to get them back out there, partner. We get movement and we just stop. This is why we can't close that gap. But I'm being honest with you, man. I'm comfortable just kicking it with my people on my side of town, doing what I do. I stay away from y'all, and that way we don't have no problems, man. And the ones that I'm good with, we good. But the ones that I ain't good with, you best believe it, homeboy. You know I don't fuck with you. And ain't gonna be shy about telling you I don't fuck with you. And will fuck you up in a heartbeat.
Yeah. So I mean, we've got to make a move. We've got to make a move because Black people, we are out of time. And I don't think we realize just how out of time we are on borrowed time at this point. It's not a joke anymore. You know, it's no time to get complacent and comfortable. Your children are being forced to drink the pee of white people's children. That's where we are now. I guarantee you wouldn't do that to their child. They be looking for you. If a group of Black little boys made a white boy drink piss, they be looking for all of y'all. Y'all be strung up some damn way.
Going up under the penitentiary.
They ain't gonna even make it to the penitentiary because Billy Bob and them gonna get a rope. And they gonna make sure you never do that again. Now listen, I know on this platform we got to be very careful on how we speak, but y'all get the point. But at some point in time, we gotta stop being soft about the situation. These mosquitoes in Houston, let me tell y'all something, like pterodactyls, okay? One got up in the house. We gotta stop being soft about the situation we are in. Everybody knows that they can do anything to us, and we gonna sit up and call Ben Crump. He ain't gonna win shit.
Can I hug you? I don't want him to go. Can I give him a hug, Judge? We just into that shit.
Yeah, you know, like I said, Ben Crump is gonna get a call. He gonna put on the show. He ain't gonna win no case. He gonna get a little couple of dollars, and then we're gonna wait for the next person to get done dirty, and then he gonna show up again. So it's like at some point in time, we actually gotta start doing what Malcolm called us to do so many years ago. And as he said, if you ain't willing to die for freedom, take the word out your mouth.
We don't understand what freedom is. If you want to know what it feels like to be a free Black person, go to NOI.com. Louis Farrakhan is the freest Black motherfucker in America. They ain't finna fuck with him. He live the way he want to live. Tell him fuck you, fuck your vaccines, all that. Freedom. Do you know what that means? I think that we need to wake up. We need to have a serious conversation with ourselves. Because we having the conversations with each other. They're not resonating. We need to have some serious conversations with ourselves to find out, you know, are we Black or are we just here? Because I'm Black, 24/7. Unapologetically Black. And ain't gonna change that for nothing. For nobody. Gonna stand up for my people 24/7, man. Gonna let you know it is what it is, partner. You feel what I'm saying? Final thoughts, Ms. Demetri.
One of the hardest movies I ever had to watch was called The Time to Kill. Y'all remember that movie with Samuel Jackson? And they, you know, beat and raped his little daughter. I could never watch the movie more than once. But God damn it, if we don't, you know, embody that attitude, because he knew he wasn't going to get justice. So he took it into his own hands. So we need to start thinking along those lines, because now they after our children, and their children are doing it to our children while we sit up and whine about it. That's all I got to say.
Final thoughts, Donald.
Well, I'm going to tell you guys, thank you guys for tuning in. Do not forget to tune in on Monday through Friday to catch the War Zone. We talk about a lot of stuff. And if you have a topic you want us to talk about or something that you want to just do, let us know. We'll get you on the show. We'll talk about it. But I just want to tell all you people out there that when I talk about the baby boomers, and when the baby boomers tell you Donovan doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about, I've marched with King. I was there in Selma. I got my ass beat. I marched on the Capitol. I went to the State House. When they tell you that, right? If I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, please just tell them this. Oh, okay, where's your legacy corporation that you guys are leaving for the next generation of Black people? Oh, where's your legacy business that you're leaving for the next generation? Oh, where's your legacy wealth that you're leaving for the next generation? And if they can't answer any of those questions, tell them to go sit their old ass down.
I'm gonna end it with this here. Been going back and forth in the DMs with a superstar. And as soon as the album dropped, Dawn Robinson from In Vogue was gonna come on the War Zone. She gonna come on. For me, it's simple. Figure out if you're Black. And if you're Black, then you already know what to do. I don't have to watch Judas and the Messiah. I know it. I don't have to watch or read the autobiography of Malcolm X. I know it. I don't have to know that the nation didn't kill Malcolm. I know it. I've done my homework. So while I'm out here learning your information, I learn my information. And I don't need a documentary to tell me the shit that you've been doing to us since we got off them goddamn slave ships. I don't need to see a movie because I know it. You feel what I'm saying? So tomorrow, inbox me. I need every last one of y'all to inbox me because we finna start doing our phone banking. You can do this from the privacy of your own home for my school board run. My girl Tara Taylor, she gonna walk us through everything tomorrow, 6 o'clock. Inbox me, is invite only. She gonna get us going, man. That's the first phase of us getting a real soldier into political office, man. A real soldier that's gonna fight for Black children, and then I'll fight for everybody. But I'm gonna fight for mine first because they fight for theirs. So, I thank y'all for the donations Wednesday, and we're gonna do $2 Tuesday every Tuesday. And we missed yesterday because I had to go sit on a committee for my old high school looking for a new football coach. But Walter will be back so that he can give us the game so we can get our money right, man. Let's get our money right and get the fuck up out of here. Can we get an Uber back to Africa? Can we get a motherfucking Uber back to Africa? It is what it is, man. Say, man, another spirited discussion from the best in the business. It's the War Zone, baby. Inbox me, bro. Let's go get this seat on the school board. I want to thank my good friend Donovan Sadiq, the Queen, Demetra K. I am the 5-star general. Until Monday, we'll holler at you. But those that's serious about helping me, just inbox me. Let's go to war on these people, man, and put a real soldier in the game. And watch this shit change. Because I ain't coming just to eat your motherfucking free food. I'm like Chuck Berry, bitch. I bring mine in a motherfucking paper sack. It is what it is, partner. Until then, we'll holler at you.